So today I want to tell you something very annoying why we are not yet able to go right now and attack the Iran. We were hoping that Trump was going to allow us to begin our attack like we were planning to do from the first place. But this has been stopped because the Iran made a trick that they are as if they are ready for negotiation. This is obviously stupidity. They will not. This is all tactic. They know this, and the truth is that Trump knows this also. But this discussion really gets to the crux of this concept. Is Netanyahu really completely controlling Trump, or is Trump really the one which is controlling Netanyahu? And this is what I want to point out for you. What you need to understand is, first of all, I want to speak in general. You have to understand this that Netanyahu went to Washington 7 times ever since the Trump became president in 2024. People think that this is a sign that he has Trump's heir and he has a control from Trump over Trump. This is the exact opposite. This is when Netanyahu is coming to suck up to Trump because he needs to try to ask him for help, and he's coming to ask and he's trying. If really Netanyahu was the one which was controlling the Trump, then you would see the other way around. You would see that Trump is coming all the time to Israel. And did you notice that this time around, when Trump came to Israel, it was a joke. It was for less than a day. He didn't even go to the Kotel, to the Western Wall. It was on the way to Egypt, which is trying to make problems for Israel. And this was all connected for the peace bogus which is happening in Gaza and Lebanon and like this, things like that. In general, you have to understand Netanyahu, one of the times that he went to Washington was he was trying, among other things, to also convince Trump not to sell the F-35 to Turkey. And you think he was successful? He was not successful. This is the point. Trump is very strong-minded. He knows very good what he wants, what he doesn't want, and nobody can convince him. People that think that Netanyahu is convincing that Trump is stupid. It's absolutely stupidity. Trump knows exactly what he's doing, and part of the reason right now he's not going and attacking Iran. Why do you think this is happening? Israel once said that we should attack Iran because this is the right thing to do and this is the smart thing to do. Why do you think not? Because you have Erdogan from the Turkey, and you also have this from Doha, you have the Qatar, that they are telling Trump not to do this. You understand? So Trump is not so much listening to the Israel. This is bogus, this concept of control. This is really stupidity. Now, once we are talking already about Erdogan from Turkey, I want to tell you about how we were thinking we had an opportunity here. You must understand that the Iranian regime, they are a terrorist regime. They were killing thousands of people on the street. Now, I must tell you that the numbers from Amnesty International, whatever this bogus, it was, they overcount. They don't know exactly. But I can tell you that it was very, very much. This is not acceptable. It was at least 20,000. Now, I must tell you also that there was many times that we had our people on the ground, but this was a fraction. They barely even eliminated any from our people. Maybe like 10 or 20. They didn't. This is not a reason to kill 20,000 people which are going in there. It's so sad for them, and it's even more sad the girls that they are untouched. I don't want to talk inappropriate on the YouTube, so they can't go to heaven. So you know what they do? They do to them in the chamber, in the dungeon before they kill them. They make sure that they are touched. So this way they cannot go to paradise. This is really monster regime. They are really terrorists. So we want to allow the Iranian people to come and to take control for themselves finally for once and for all. And our plan was we were going to allow the Kurdish people, and by the way, we must have a separate discussion about the Kurdish people. You must understand the situation from the Kurdish people. It's crazy. It's crazy and fabulous that the world is only talking about the Palestinians all day. Do you even know what is happening with the Kurdish? It's a very crazy story. But in any case, this is for another time. What is happening with the Kurdish, we wanted to, we gave them many weapons. The Americans really, they were helping a lot with this. And the plan was for the Kurdish to come and attack from their side, the upper left side from Iran. If you know on the map, I'm not going to tell you the north and the west. So the northwest from Iran anyways. They were supposed to come in and start going towards Tehran. This was going to bring a lot of the IRGC resources all the way in that direction. That will allow the Iranian people, for them allow to take over their country. You understand this? And what happened? You have these stinky faces from Qatar and from Erdogan and Turkey, because Erdogan, he hates the Kurdish people. Because for him, the Kurdish, they are like the Palestinians for the Israelis, but there is difference because the Palestinians, they're really doing terrorism, and the Kurdish, they're doing a little bit terrorism, not at all close to what the Palestinians doing, but nobody's caring about the Kurdish. So Erdogan, he hates the Kurdish people. Now you must understand that this is the Kurdish people that Erdogan must deal with is not the same Kurdish group that was that is close to Iran, that is going to go in and to save the Iranian people. Is not at all the same group, but still he's a hateful and spiteful person. He's calling Trump and he's telling Trump, don't do this, don't like this. I didn't hear the phone call, but I hear everything else. And this is what happens. So if you think that Netanyahu is controlling Trump, you must know who's really controlling Trump. And it's really him himself. He listens to who gives him advice, and this is what he does. He's not at all only listening to Netanyahu. This is bogus, I must tell you. And also the Qatar, they are babies. They would rather get along with a weak Iran. Why do you think they want peace? You think this, especially Erdogan, you think that Turkey, they want to have peace? You're stupid. The reason that Erdogan and Qatar and even Saudi Arabia, they all want to have Iran the same regime. They don't want to have regime change. Do you know why? Because if there is regime change and the Iranian people begin to make democracy and they hire their own people for government, then it will be democracy and then it will become a successful country. And if Iran is a successful country, then they will become weaker because Iran is a very resourceful and a very smart and a very successful people. So the second there will be successful country with successful government, then suddenly Turkey will not be any more powerhouse in the region, and Saudi and also Qatar, they will all of a sudden not be the richest and the most powerful in the region. Iran will become powerful, but as long as Iran is an enemy and they're crazy and they're terroristic, that's why they want to keep them weak but terrorist. You understand what's wrong over here? I hope you understand. Now, theoretically, if Iran would not want to kill Israel, it's possible that Israel would also like the same idea. But the point is that Israel wants the regime change. It's obvious because they're terrorists. They're harming their own people over there. It used to be a few years ago, that there was 30% of the country in Iran that was against the regime, and 30 people that they were very pro the regime, and everybody in the middle, they didn't really care. They didn't care, I'm not ready to risk my life. I don't want to risk my job, my economy. I want everything to stay stable. But today, it's not at all like this. Like 90% of the Iranians, even more by now, the 95%, they don't like this regime. They hate them. They're terrified. Everybody over there is terrified. Do you know that right now the IRGC, They are really in control. They're controlling the president. The president, which is elected, which is it's a joke how he's elected. He must be approved. He must be approved by the Ayatollah, the supreme leader. This is a joke, anyways. But even this elected president right now, they don't even let him talk to the Ayatollah. They are controlling him. He is saying not to attack, and they are not listening. They are attacking. They are right now in control. This is absolutely ridiculous, and this is all because of Erdogan, who is telling Trump not to attack with the Kurdish people in Iran. Now, you have to understand, some of the Iranian people, they were scared that if we're going to allow the Kurdish to come inside and to help us against the regime, then they will try to steal part of our land, which they think belongs to the Kurdish people in the top left, in the northwest. But the Americans sign agreement with the Kurdish that they are not going to do this. That they are only going to help with the war effort, and they are not going to keep any land. And this was beautiful. And we came with our Air Force. I directed them where exactly to attack, and we destroyed all of the Iranian defenses on the way from the Kurdish so that it will be successful. This was a perfect planned mission. And why did it flop? It flopped because we had to get from the political. They told Trump, not told Netanyahu, we have to step back. They did not want to escalate in this way. So you understand, the reason there is, if anything, any failure, it's not at all because Iran has any strength or anything. It's simply because we go with an attack halfway and then we step back. It's not weak. It's weak. It's a stupid strategy, and this is what I'm always telling my American friends in the CIA. They don't understand how it's working in the over here, the Middle East over here. You don't understand how it's working. Everything is a show of. Are they really powerful? Tell me, how do you think that the Iranians, which they're coming with their mosquito boats against American gigantic warships which are bigger than your city, how do you think that they can think that they're stronger than America? What kind of a joke is this? What kind of a joke is this? Do you know why they think so? So they say why. They say because they are ready to die. But the point is that even though they're ready to die, America and together with Israel, we're helping America, by the way, like nobody else is helping. We love America. Together, we decimate the Iranian, even if they're willing to die, because not everybody, by the way, in Iran, the people say 90 million people living in Iran. Well, what are you talking about? 90 million people living in Iran are against the regime. You have a bunch of crazy people in the regime that this is what they are doing. Anyways, so we destroy all of the people from the regime. And then the Iranians come and they can save it. But as I said before, you have the Erdogan over there, which is, there's making deals with America for the F-35. And you have Qatar and Saudi Arabia. This is a lot of money for the American economy and deals and things like this, which they have Trump's ear, and Trump is listening to them, and they're affecting Trump. You remember that what presentation they made for Trump when he came to Saudi and to Qatar. You remember the gift. You remember the gift that they give him, right? You remember this. So yes. So this is what's happening. This is the problem. If you come to a war and you're showing a weakness to these people in the Middle East, this is a failure. This is not a very good strategy. Anyways, this is why we are stuck right now. So you must understand that anything which is a bit of a failure, it's just because we are a democracy and we listen to many people. It's not at all because Iran really has any power at all. But anyways, we were really getting ready to attack Iran, but they stopped us. They stopped us. Now we have to wait. Now we have to wait. Trump is making us wait. And this is joke. I'm telling you, you can't. This is what is the 20th time that they are offering some sort of peace agreement. This is really a joke. It's not even normal. Ay, vey. אני אגיד לכם.